Vyrah reporting for duty. Another stream. We're gonna do some React. So let's just get into some React. All right. We'll hope that. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. The unexpected rise of Polyphia. Polyphia is kind of like mostly I didn't listen to every song, so maybe I'm mistaken. But like mostly like what you could consider as math rock. It's basically like ultra technical, like I've been ultra technical about like guitar and instrumental, but like they play mostly doing instrumentals. And basically they really became something because they were able to actually like make instrumental just like composing on the guitar, technical guitar, really interesting and really accessible as well. So my question is, where do they come from, you know, like where did they come from, how did they got this idea and stuff. But like if you never got the chance to listen to Polyphia, well, like I said, it's really something, it's really like technical guitar that like is really accessible. So it's really something that like even if you don't like rock, if you like, you should take a listen, because it's really like you get to see a style of music that you never saw before through and it's really well presented as well. I don't know how to explain it to you, but basically like it's instrumentals, all right? Like there is no sound in it, and it's kind of like, I don't know, like going to the fucking like see an orchestra, right? Well, they managed to do this kind of like the orchestra type, but like just with the guitar. I don't know if you get me. I'm tired, so don't play me too much. All right, let's check it out. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like to the Punk Rock MBA. Really awesome content creator. So let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA, and today we are here to talk about Polyphia, a band that on paper really shouldn't be as successful as they actually are. For those who aren't familiar, they sound like this. As you can tell, it's very technical.
Yeah, basically technical and instrumentals. So stuff that like usually people do not find interesting. But one thing, he'll probably mention it, but like one thing that I respect a lot about Polyphia is that once they got a platform and once they got like famous, they started to do feats. So meaning that like, you know, the whole like introducing people to technical rock, right? To math rock, basically. Well, they do it, but they also offer a platform for other artists using their own like popularity. And I think that like overall this is like such a cool thing to do, because like it's a win-win, but like it really shows.
Instrumental, mathy, prog, rock, metal, whatever.
They also like, for example, the guitarist from Polyphia actually has a TikTok and a YouTube, and he releases from time to time like snippets or like new songs, because like the songs of Polyphia can be short at times. It can be just like a 1-minute song, you know, and like they release a lot of stuff like this, and it's really like cool to follow, you know, because like sometimes they come, they find an idea, they share it online right away, and you get to see what's going on. Oh, another guitarist that I really like, this is J-Rock, technical J-Rock, is Ichikanito. I think If you know, you know.
Kind of stuff you want to call it. Not exactly the most commercially viable genre, right? Typically, that kind of stuff is really by guitarists for guitarists. And yet, Polyphia's videos consistently get millions and millions of views. Their top 5 Spotify songs have over 75 million streams. Their current headlining tour is sold out on every single date. And they seem like they're only continuing to get bigger with every release. So how did they do the seemingly impossible and get an audience of millions?
This is the question, because like technically I have no clue where they come from and what's their backstory, so I'm really curious about this.
To fall in love with what's always been kind of a niche genre with a limited audience. And how big can Polyphia actually get? Those are the questions that I will answer in this video. But first, if you haven't, please check me out on Twitch. I'm streaming twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific, and there's a link to that in the description of this video. But first, I'd like to thank Keeps for sponsoring this video. Keeps is a subscription service that helps men keep their hair. It might be too late for me, but it does not have to be too late for you. The reality is that most guys experience some kind of hair loss by 35. That's right about when it started to hit me. And Keeps offers clinically proven, research-backed treatments to stop hair loss and improve hair growth, delivered straight to your door. With Keeps, you don't have to go to a doctor, but you're still getting a doctor-recommended plan at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Every plan comes with a full year of unlimited messaging where you can connect with your prescribing doctor about anything, anytime. They also have award-winning all-natural shampoo and conditioner, so whether you want to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of your hair, Keeps is for you. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get a special offer on Keeps treatments, go to keeps.com/punkrock or click the link in the description of this video. That's keeps.com/punkrock. Polyphia as a band is over a decade old now, and in order to really understand the band, we have to start at the very beginning. Their origins go back to co-founder and I guess frontman Tim Henson's childhood, where he started playing the violin at the age of 3, and from the way he describes it, he was kind of forced to take music seriously even as a child.
I hated it. Like, she made me practice like 2 hours a day, and like I had like some fairly like abusive like teachers that would like smack my hand with a bow and shit when I fucked up.
His dad was also a guitarist who got Tim into Jimi Hendrix, then 80s shredders like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, and Tim's obsession with guitar began for real. He started his first band in 6th grade, and even then you can tell that he was not your average 11-year-old guitarist.
Oh damn.
Tim met their original drummer on MySpace, and Polyphia as a band was born, with the very first version of the band being, I guess you would say, like technical deathcore, kind of along the lines of The Faceless. And keep in mind, they were probably like 16 or 17 when they did this. The way it went through the wind you Pretty impressive, right? As you can tell, they actually had a vocalist for that EP, but that was quickly dropped and they decided to become a 100% instrumental band. But what really put them on the map was their 2013 EP, Inspire. In particular, the playthrough video for Impassion, which spread on forums and Facebook and went semi-viral in the guitar and progressive metal scene. This was also happening around the same time as the rise of the new wave of guitar influencers and bands like Ola England, Chon, Covet, and so forth. And this stuff definitely falls under the umbrella of quote-unquote progressive metal compared to their newer material, but even then you could see where they were headed. Where a lot of the stuff in that genre is just about showing off and trying to play the most technical stuff that you possibly can to impress other guitarists. Even back then, Polyphia was trying to make guitar music that would be accessible and cool even to people who weren't guitar nerds.
Technicality wise, like make cooler things to do on the guitar, but more so like how to use the guitar in music, like what you were.
This is an interesting challenge, and if you were born and bred into like basically technical guitar and just like orchestra type of like learning, this is really like a beautiful challenge to give yourself to make it interesting.
Saying like when people listen to the top 40, like they think, oh well, like everything you can do it on guitars, but done, and I've heard that, blah, blah, I don't care. It would be cool to make guitar cool again.
They continued to evolve their sound with their first full-length album, Muse, in 2014, which was notably less metal. But maybe the biggest thing is that this was when they also started to evolve their image. To put it bluntly, instrumental guitar music has never been quote-unquote cool. Meaning that when you think of your typical bedroom guitar shredder, you're not exactly thinking of the captain of the football team who's partying with hot girls, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like math rock is like really like math rock comes from like mathematic rocks, where rock basically like it's just a bunch of math and it sounds well. But like, yeah, that's the thing. Polyphia really managed to make instrumentalism really something else by just having a front man that is actually like has a lot of like charisma, and they really like succeeded at their bets.
Polyphia's earlier videos didn't really do much to challenge that stereotype, but with this album they started to. For example, the video for Champagne is Tim and Scott in suits, drinking champagne with some hotties in the club, and watching it now, it's a little bit awkward, but still, it definitely makes them seem a lot cooler than the average guitar nerd who spends his average Saturday night alone by himself tweaking his Axe Effects patches. They also went out on their first US tour in 2014, followed by going out with Coheed and Cambria the following year. And this was the perfect kind of audience for them, in the sense that it's a fan base that appreciates progressive music, but isn't just a bunch of guitarists. Another great example of this is Euphoria from their next album, Renaissance. And it may sound kind of dumb and simplistic to say, but the fact that the video features a hot girl in her underwear as the thumbnail was actually kind of groundbreaking for the genre. And even their outfits in the video were part of this overall mission to make instrumental guitar music cool and interesting to a non-guitar audience. As their co-founder Scott put it in an interview, "We were wearing fucking Jedi clothes. Like, everything was super long and baggy. And that was honestly pretty lame. But I guess it kind of worked out for us in the sense that people were talking about us. Oh yeah, that group of assholes that wears like Jedi clothing." And I obviously can't read their minds, but it feels like
fucking Jedi clothing. The dude, they look good, but like the dude is actually like really funny. What the fuck?
Like, this is the moment where they said, let's take what works for other genres like rap and pop in terms of marketing, apply it to what we do, and see what happens. You can also see that with Tim wearing a lot of flashy luxury brands in their videos and social media. But it's also important to note that that doesn't mean everything has to just be about sex and flashy clothes. It can just be about fun. For example, the song that got me into Polyphia was Lit. The video cuts between them playing in these kind of cool Jedi outfits and a guy dancing to the song with these like cool hand-drawn animations over the top. And it feels much more like something you would see a band like Turnstile do than something you would expect from a progressive metal band. And the same is true for the song itself, which is a remix of one of their older songs, Light. But in this version, it brings in more elements from electronic music. And according to Tim, the main guitar melody in the song is actually heavily inspired by the vocal melody from an Ariana Grande song. And so when you look at just the overall impression of the band, I thought this comment on the video really summed it up. Guitar sound, shred metal. Melodies, progressive. Beat, hip-hop. Sound effects, electronic. Looks, K-pop. But if I had to point to one moment where Polyphia really became quote-unquote Polyphia, it would be their song GOAT from 2018.
Yes.
To me, this is where it feels like they finally really perfected the sound that they had been working towards for years, with this fusion of like math rock, progressive metal, and trap.
And also the like GOAT really was able to have a signature to the sound that usually I guess like singers are able to put on certain songs. Because like GOAT really sounds so unique. You listen to it once and you're like, you never forget that like this is a song, you know. And I think that like they really were able to leave their print, you know, like kind of like have like how certain singers or frontmen, they are able to, after like a couple releases, they're able to kind of like place themselves within the band or the project that they're working on, and kind of like have like a vibe to them that like gives the whole art a different way to be seen. Like, maybe I'm wrong about this, but like, I guess I see it in this way.
And what I find really interesting about it is that it's actually not really metal at all, and yet somehow it still feels metal, and metal fans love them. But at the same time, to someone who doesn't listen to metal and doesn't even really care about guitar, it's still accessible and cool, which means it's probably a good time for us to talk about exactly why they have that kind of crossover appeal, which I think more than anything comes down to Tim's approach to songwriting, that, as he will tell you, is far more influenced by rap and pop these days than anything metal. And to give you an idea of exactly what I'm talking about, he made a video breaking down how he came up with GOAT, where he shows how it very directly came from a rap song called Breakfast by Jaden Smith.
So taking inspiration from rap music in general, I tried to make my guitar sound like a rapper.
Keep it spicy like Old Bay. Got me so high I can hold it. We on the green guacamole, and I've been fucked up like the whole day.
And what I think is really cool is that you
This is cool, and it's even cooler that like he shares the secrets of like what inspired him, especially for Goat, because like Goat is quite Goat is the Goat song to fucking Polyphia.
can certainly see how he got from point A to
Goat means greatest of all time, by the way, if you didn't know.
point B, but listening to the songs next to each other, they don't sound the same, and it's certainly not like he just took a rap song and remixed it for guitar. He used it as inspiration, drawing from what worked and made that song so accessible, but came up with something completely different and unique to Polyphia. Another example is their song OD, where he shows how it's based on the structure of Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift.
It's the same thing. Intro, first chorus, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, post-chorus, bridge thing, and then here we have our final chorus.
They've also worked with a lot of rap and pop producers. For example, Y2K, who's worked with people like Ian Dior and Doja Cat, Judge, who's worked with Young Thug and Frank Ocean, and Morgoth Beats, who's worked with tons of people like Juice WRLD and Lil Xan. And also, got to give a shout out to their producer Nick Sampson, who has been with them from the very beginning. And Tim himself has actually been producing rap and pop for a few years now, working with some very impressive artists like Black Bear and Internet Money, among many others. And so what it comes down to is that although they get labeled as math rock or progressive metal, really at this point, I think it's more accurate to think of them as pop rock that just happens to be played by people who are incredibly good at their instruments.
I think they passed like it just became like they're not like I think that like you cannot label them anymore. You can just see them as Polyphia. I think that like this is kind of like something that like you can see past a certain point where it's like, yeah, if you try to describe it, the band is too genre defining, so you don't want to. It's kind of like, I mean, I get what I'm saying. Like, I think like they really became like themselves, you know, like. It's not like math rock or whatever. It's Polyphia, you know. Like maybe I'm whatever.
Because there definitely are lots of cool technical parts. For example, I really like a lot of the stuff that their drummer does. But that stuff never ever gets in the way of the song. The focus is always on catchy melodies, hooks, and dynamics. The flashy technical stuff is really just the icing on the cake. You don't have to even notice that stuff to enjoy the song, but if you do, well, it's a cool bonus.
Yeah, this is important as well.
For the people who do care about it. And personally, I find that incredibly refreshing, and I think it really speaks to their musical maturity. And what I mean by that is that in pretty much all forms of art, whether it's painting or writing or music, most artists go through an early period where they really fetishize technique and want to create the most baroque, complex work that they can. But as you mature as an artist, you realize that actually creating something that is focused and using restraint is even harder than just throwing every technique that you possibly can into it. And just like with pretty much everything else that they do, this approach to songwriting is not an accident.
If I would listen to it, you know, like versus just watch some dude play it like on Instagram. Like if you like don't look at the phone and just like listen to it, it's just like, what the fuck am I hearing? That's literally what this is. This is an instrument that makes sound, the purpose of which is to make music. Anything that isn't doing that is just like, you know, it's like masturbatory.
But with that said, speaking of Instagram, I do think that their visuals and social media presence are also key factors in their success. Because I actually think that one of the main reasons why rock in general, but especially any sort of like progressive guitar-oriented music, fails to connect with an audience outside of that sort of core guitar scene is because of the visuals. Because whether you like it or not, the fact of the matter is that youth culture of the past 10 years has been largely defined by memes, anime, gaming, streetwear, and rap videos. So when you see a band put out a video that's just like more guys with beards wearing normal clothes, jamming in some abandoned building, it just feels sort of out of step with the larger culture. And so
I didn't thought about it, but this is true. Yeah, this is true. And I think that like these days with like ultra pop, for example, styles like this or trap or stuff like this, like you get like to see the direction when it comes to visuals is not like, it's not something that like you can get away with like a lot of rock and metal bands got to get away with it in the past. Because like if you watch a lot of music videos for like rock and metal back in the day, it's a lot of people just like playing in a fucking building, or like, and it's kind of dark, like for real. Like a lot of like, now, I love alternative metal. New metal is for me like the best of the best, but like goddamn, they're really like most of it is like the place where they're playing is kind of dirty and kind of like abandoned, and that's pretty much like most of like a lot of music videos in my favorite genre. Like I think that now it's better because like you get like more styles in general.
Because of that, it's gonna.
I think that like one good example of this type of like evolution is actually Bring Me the Horizon. If you check like the first fucking music videos, it's a lot of them like doing a bunch of nothing in the dark, you know, like, or in a dark place. Now it's like completely like fucking J-pop and really colorful and like full of life. So it's like it has this hyper pop kind of vibe to it. Like you should really like check this out.
It'll be much harder for any of those artists to be relevant and connect with a younger audience outside of the guitar scene. Whereas if you look at a Polyphia video, like my personal favorite, Look But Don't Touch, it's like they put anime, gaming, rap videos, and metal into a blender, put it on the highest setting, and just like let it rip. And that particular video is especially insane, but all their videos across the board are consistently great. Even when it's them just playing in a room, they still always go the extra mile to add some other sort of interesting twist. For example, in their latest video, Neurotica, there's a really tight color palette of neutrals with pops of gold. Like how the color of the lights in the background of the video ties back to the gold hardware on their guitars. And the same is true of their merch. It doesn't look like quote-unquote metal band merch. It looks like product from a brand that you might see on the shelves at Zoomies or PacSun. And so you put all of that together, the music itself, the videos, the merch, the social media presence, and you get something that feels contemporary and relevant in a way that most rock artists now just don't. And I think that really is the key to how they've been able to build an audience outside of that guitar nerd niche where a lot of similar artists get trapped. Which again, I think really just comes down to their mindset. If you read interviews with a lot of bands now, they look at social media and videos almost like a chore, like something that they have to do, even though really they'd rather just be sitting at home playing their guitar. And so when it comes time to make a video, they grind out this uninspired video of them playing in some grungy warehouse, and then they act surprised when nobody cares about their music, failing to understand that they're competing.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like the music industry, if you don't know, they're the music video industry is something important. Your personal image, like I think like if you do not have music videos, you have are in such a disadvantage when it comes to marketing and personal image. And I think that like a lot of music is based on their popularity, on the music video, on the messaging that like you get to do through your music. And so yeah, like it's more important than you would believe. Like it's not all about music, it's there's a lot that is like about like music videos and just like representation, you know, like persona.
For attention with video games and anime and TikTok and any of the other things that their audience could be doing right now, why would they watch you just going through the motions of playing your song in some abandoned warehouse? Whereas with Polyphia, I get the sense that they look at...
Okay, and I want to just take the time to appreciate where is it? So I want to take the time to actually appreciate, it's not talked about in the video, but Tim Henson, so Polyphia, through their success, they actually released Ibanez signature Tim Benson TOD-10N. And I want to take the time to talk about like how beautiful this instrument is. This is a classical guitar, basically. Let me just So this is a classical guitar that is semi-electrical. Oh my fucking god, semi-acoustic, right? And basically it is when they got the chance, they actually created a signature guitar. Signature guitars are basically like a guitar usually like that someone that renowned artist is playing, or that this renowned artist like created to play with, or to with like everything that like with like what he likes in a guitar, right? So basically like it's kind of like it's a thing within like the guitar world. Like signature guitars is basically like the guitar like supported by an artist, and it sells well. Yeah, no, because usually like signature guitars are actually really expensive, and to be honest, like not that worth it, because just because it's basically like really technical differences. And what I like about the signature Tim Henson is that it's a semi-acoustic classical guitar. It's already unique. You can see the strings, but also like that is completely unique when it comes to its look, but also that has like frets that are customized, and a fully customized like basically like guitar. What I want to why do I think it's important is that like you can have like, look how beautiful it is. You can have the greatest instruments known, right? But like if it doesn't look, and this is kind of like important, if it doesn't look cool, you will not pick it up as often as you would if you got if you had like the coolest instrument, even if it's not the best, right? And Tim Henson actually managed to do that and make it affordable, because like classical guitars, they are like signature guitars, they are not as affordable. And I think that like overall, like just the beauty of this guitar, you need to talk about it if you already like take the time to talk about to talk about Polyphia, because for real, it's a good deal. The price is really good for what it is. The instrument is completely unique, and it's an instrument that like T. Manson like plays, and it's a beautiful instrument that like if you're only learning, like you'll having this instrument compared to like a folk guitar that like doesn't look like anything, will make you actually motivate you to learn, because you'll always want to have like your awesome instrument in your hand, trying to try to create something, right? And to be fair, like it's a guitar that I want to buy myself when I get the money for, just so you know like how much like I'm not lying about appreciating this guitar, you know, like this is a guitar that I am yearning and that I really want to try out. It is really that instrument. But yeah, so just wanted to say that like T. Manson really deserve even more recognition, because like the signature guitar that they created, there are others with like other colors and stuff like that, but like basically like it's really simple, but it's really unique, and it's enough for someone discovering music, and it's affordable to have like this prestige instrument that actually like will motivate them to become to play it, you know. I just wanted to say that, you know. All right, let me just
at videos and merch and all the other things that they do aside from music as just more outlets for their creativity. Like the whole band is kind of like one big art project with music at the center of it. Kind of reminds me of Odd Future in that way. One other super important thing is that I've also noticed that they have a lot more female fans than pretty much any other band in their genre. And you could say that that's just because Tim happens to be a very good looking guy that looks like the main character in some edgy anime, but I don't think it's that simple. I think it's a combination of all those things I talked about before. And so to directly answer the question that I asked at the beginning of the video, how did Polyphia find such a diverse audience beyond just guitar nerds? I think that the number one factor is actually very, very simple, which is they just tried. And that might sound
This is actually true. Like they did through this documentary, you can see how many like ways it tries and how much they try to adapt to actually make it work. And I think it's really like a beautiful story overall. Like they really deserve the spot that they got. But like even more now that I know that like they actually fucking like did like so many effort to become what they are.
Simple,
you know?
but a lot of artists who play progressive guitar-oriented music honestly don't try. And there's nothing at all wrong with that if they're happy with the audience that they have. But I do have to wonder what the ceiling is for a lot of supposedly niche music. If artists would just step outside their comfort zone, take more risks, and just try harder to think a little bit bigger like Polyphia's been doing since the beginning. All right, my friends, that does it for this video. As always, let me know what you think.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like to the Punk Rock MBA. Thank you so much. All right. Next on. The best anime villain you've never seen? Well, I guess I will, checking out this video. Gallenberger is an awesome YouTuber. He does like anime essays about like pretty much everything. It's like if you like anime, it's really a good time. Don't share the love, leave him a sub, leave him a like, for real. He is worthy, you know.
What if
Alright,
I
let's check it
told
out.
you there's a villain who's a cross between Light Yagami and Toji Fushiguro in a series that's like a mix
Damn.
between My Hero Academia and Death Note? Now what if I told you that villain has one of the best debuts in all of anime? You'd probably wonder, why haven't I heard about this character? And it's because in one of life's great tragedies, no one watched Talentless Nana, which is why it only received one season of anime, even though the manga is still ongoing. So who is this character I'm
Oh.
glazing so hard? Let me introduce them the way the series did. It takes place on an island where superpowered students train to fight off villains called the enemies of humanity. We follow Nanao, a seemingly powerless boy who is constantly bullied. We're also introduced to two new kids in class, Hiragi and Onodera. Hiragi can read minds while Onodera hides his talent. Hiragi defends Nanao when he gets bullied in front of her, and she pushes him to believe in himself, even volunteering him to become the class leader, but he refuses. However, the battle between the others goes too far and puts Hiragi in danger. He rushes to save her, revealing his talent, the ability to negate powers. Typical shonen, right? He and Hiragi go off, where he thanks her for believing in him. Then she pushes him off the edge of a cliff. Turns out, Nana Hiragi isn't talented, and she's here to murder everyone on the island, the real enemies of humanity. This reframes the entire story. Things like kindness and
Wow, this is actually such a fucking like plot twist, like
trust have been weaponized and set the standard going forward that we should be suspicious of everything, and that's perfectly in line with her character. But why is she trying to kill the talented? The government doesn't see them as human, so they went the Epstein route and used an island to hide their crimes. They gather talented up and off them one by one, hiding it under the guise of war against the enemies of humanity. Nana was chosen because as a child, her family was murdered by a talented. She joined the government, and she's been working towards getting her revenge ever since. When she said she was a mind reader, she was obviously lying, but she was able to fool others by using exceptional observational skills to deduce what others were thinking. She is remarkably clever, but she has to be. If she's not, she'll be killed. If you were thinking since she's powerless, she's probably not going against foes that are too OP, you'd be wrong. Nana targets people who can time travel, see the future, revive the dead, and more. If you haven't guessed it already, that's the Toji Fushiguro element of her character. She is up against people who have powers she couldn't even dream of, and yet she's successful in many of her endeavors. She understands she can't overpower these people, she must outsmart and manipulate them. Everyone has a weakness. That's where the Light Yagami part comes in. Here's a good example. A boy in class makes everyone believe he can stop time. She can't take him at his word, so she uses tests disguised as accidents to deduce that his ability is actually time travel. Then she adapts her plan to deal with him based on that knowledge. However, she's not perfect at this by any means. Why would she be? She's a teenage girl thrown on an island with superhumans. How would you fare in her situation? Even the smallest mistakes she makes come back to bite her, but thankfully, she also excels at improvising. It doesn't take long for her to become a suspect. I mean, how could she not? Kids started dying right after she showed up, but she's able to spin that to garner sympathy and throw people off. She manipulates others by being friendly and relatable, which gets her voted class leader despite the accusations. Cute privilege at its finest. But she's not just entertaining to watch.
This is interesting.
She's interesting herself. Yes, she's murdering her classmates like she's part of the CIA, but there's glimpses of a kind person underneath. When she sets up a trap for someone, she makes sure that person's cat is safe before doing so. She goes out of her way to help a classmate out, even when it wasn't beneficial to her. They make a point to show us her room is always clean, which is something we'll come back to. There's another moment when she is in a hurry, but she sees another cat trapped and saves it, even though it actively hurts her odds of success. Why does she choose to do these things? Because they don't threaten her worldview. A decision like this may literally put her in danger, but mentally, she will feel safe doing it because it doesn't conflict with her beliefs. That part comes later. There's a moment early in the story that tells us how she views herself. She notices a manga on someone's shelf and points out it's her favorite. It's about a girl who does terrible things for the sake of justice. That's how she rationalizes what she's doing. And to be fair, you can kinda see why, because these aren't all great people either. One dude tries blackmailing her into being his girlfriend. Another was a murderer herself who controlled the body of the dead boy she stalked. Others are straight up bullies. But then there's Michiru, and and she's different. She's kind, and that's a problem for Nana because it's not something she can process. Michiru is a healer, and like all powers in this world, there are drawbacks. For her, every time she heals someone, it shortens her lifespan, so choosing to help means a lot. If these people are good, it's harder to justify her mission as justice as opposed to cold-blooded murder. It's why, despite not even realizing it, Nana puts Michiru on the back burner while going after others. This concept is only furthered when she targets a necromancer. It's a constant battle of wits. Nana has preyed on others' assumptions and confidence, and here the same is done to her. She doesn't like that, but in a way, I think she respects her foe's competence. This is where an interesting contrast is highlighted. Nana carries a lot of pride, but simultaneously, she's doubting herself more and more. Each kill seems to weigh on her more than the last. She even admits for the first time, if she was wrong in her assumptions about the necromancer, she doesn't know if she could have gone through with killing her. But she is still the villain. She stages the murder of 2 bullies to clear her name as suspicion builds back up. What's intriguing to me is that they primarily targeted Michiru, so in a way it may have also been Nana looking out for her. Yet, upon hearing about their deaths, Michiru mourns them. Nana can't understand that at all. How can you mourn people who hurt you? She can't forgive evil of any kind. It's why she hates the talented, but also herself. As a child, she always left her room a mess and her parents would have to clean it up. One night, she snuck out to grab a new manga from down the street. That's the night her parents were murdered. The culprit was said to have come in through her window. It's why she makes sure her room is spotless and windows are always locked now, because she feels like her carelessness got her parents killed and refuses to let something like that happen again. When we see this, it becomes obvious how much pain she's been holding on to and that she yearns for human connection. It's why she tells Michiru about her past, even though it's only going to make going after her later more difficult. There are competing interests between her head and her heart. Her head tells her trusting talented people is off the table. Michiru being so kind isn't helpful, it's suspicious. There must be a darker side looming underneath. Nana goes through her diary, but everything in there is kind too. You'd think she'd be relieved, but she's pained by it. As her doubts continued building up, she needed Michiru to be flawed to ease her conscience. If she's not actually evil, that means the identity Nana's forged is all built on a lie. And that's when this person she's supposed to hate, that she's literally supposed to kill, falls unconscious. What should she do? Let her die? She can say she doesn't care, but actions mean more than words, and she spent that entire day by Michiru's side, tending to her. Nana feels relieved when her classmate wakes up, then asks herself, wait, why do I feel relieved? It's a crack in her worldview. She's gone from questioning the enemy to questioning herself. Then something really sets her off. Michiru notices Nana has a scratch and tries to heal her. Nana snaps. It's a scratch, it's nothing, and yet this girl was going to shorten her lifespan to heal it. Why would she do that? She's never experienced anything like this before. She literally asks, why are you such a good person? Michiru tells her the story of a friend she lost to a terminal illness, and you can tell that Nana is conflicted because it's only confirming her fears. Not all talented are evil. Michiru isn't, but then it goes further. She wants to give Nana peace of mind about her parents' deaths. She points out something Hiragi had missed, giving her hope that it wasn't her fault her parents died. Nana is so blown away she can't even pretend anymore. She admits, Michiru is her first friend. She now understands that humans and talented alike can be kind. It's turned her whole world upside down. The guilt of her actions weighs on her as she questions whether her cause really is just. But before she can fully sort through her feelings, she learns Michiru has gone off alone at night. That wouldn't normally be an issue, except there happens to be a murderer on the loose, someone other than Nana. Out of concern for her friend, she decides to go find her. On the way, she gets a call from the man who trained her, and he reminds her what she's fighting for. She's on the island to accomplish a mission of justice against the types of people who killed her family. There's a whirlwind of emotions going through her head, but she realizes he's right. She needs to stick to the mission. That's when she finds Michiru, who has encountered the murderer. Here, Nana chooses to follow her heart. She doesn't think, she just acts, getting stabbed multiple times in the process. but Michiru is safe, so it was worth it. This proves at her core, Hiragi is good. You see this go even further when she berates Michiru, saying she hates her. She doesn't mean it, she just wants her friend to run while she still can. If she stays to help, it's only going to get her killed. It doesn't matter what Michiru thinks of her as long as she's safe. Finally, Nana's using her lies for good, and her reward is lying in a pool of her own blood. She's going to die. She abandoned her mission, acted without a plan, and got herself butchered, and she doesn't regret it. Then Michiru returns. Hiragi can feel her body being healed and is helpless to stop it. She knows what this means. Her wounds are healed, but it came at the cost of her first friend's life. Michiru was everything talented people weren't supposed to be, and Hiragi wasn't ready for that point to be made so concretely. Everything she's been doing this whole time was wrong. She's the villain of this story. The one person who proved her worldview wrong had to die for Nana to fully realize it. So she breaks down, revealing all the raw emotions she's been holding on to the whole time. All the pain she'd felt that was now being amplified by losing someone she cared about. And that's when the anime ends. I've said many times on this channel that I'm anime only. After that ending and years waiting for a sequel likely to never come, I had to tweak that a bit. Talentless Nana is the only manga I have ever read ahead of the anime. If that doesn't tell you it means something to me, I don't know what does. It's a shame no one watched this series because both she and it are excellent. Something Nana says that sticks out is that the talented rely on shortcuts. And to me, this reads like envy. Early on, envy that what comes so hard to her comes so easy to them because of their gifts. But later on, that evolves into a different kind of envy, because the things she does have, like intelligence, the skills to manipulate, and preparation, none of those things saved her friend. Powers might have. Powers also come with purpose and certainty. She now has neither. The complex emotions she deals with, her feelings of inadequacy, and her competing desires, makes Nana Hiragi so compelling as a villain. And yes, she is a villain because that's what she was for the entirety of the anime. But if we get season 2, that could change. Now subscribe, and maybe we'll get to see it.
Thank you so much, Gallenberger. What a fucking cool, talentless Nana. This is awesome. This is awesome. Thank you. Don't forget to leave a like and to leave a sub.
What if I
Okay. Li Xiang Mao. Probably Chinese anime or Japanese anime about China. I guess let's Li Xiang Mao. Actually, I love the setting. Fantasy world, China. It is bloody, it is violent. The animation, it looks completely like awesome. The art direction is really. We'll get we will get a translation. Look at how pretty it looks. Don't. But yeah, no, it looks fucking dope. It looks fucking dope, and I'm really curious. Okay, Anime Expo Cosplay Highlights 2024. I actually want to check it out. I love cosplay. If you do cosplay, you're awesome. Let's check it out. I want to. I actually didn't didn't watch. Like, I always appreciated cosplay when I see it on my feed, right? But like, didn't took the time to kind of like check it out. So let's check it out and let's see what they were able to do. This is awesome. God damn, what the fuck? This was like set like the full Arcane set, because like this is like an Arcane, right? It's so fucking well done. The Jinx Arcane Arcane cosplay, huh? Really dope. This is Attack on Titan, Valorant.
Slowly drifting by, all the poems I wrote for you, they made me blind, they made me lie. Heard you in the rain, will you always be there?
This is cute. This one is cute. I like it. Meow. Oh, the light it is so. This one is cool. The sword is cool. What the fuck? Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Wow, let me check out the Final Fantasy. What the fuck? Gonna be honest, like, I don't know, I didn't thought I was such an ignorant about anime, because like most of these cosplays I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the, where the fuck it comes from. These girls are so cute. Oh, Death Note. Wow. I don't know this one, but cool as fuck. Oh, Elden Ring! Yay! Wow. Isn't that free ran?
Heard you in the rain. Will you always be there? The last thing you said. Sorry if it's too late.
When the night was closing in, I was alone and so afraid. Couldn't see the light. No. Then my world began to spin. Where's the beginning and where's my omega? Had to make it right. Oh yeah. There's a moment when you know that every teardrop has to go. They be piling up
Cool.
inside. Inside the cyclone, could this moment be meant to be? Lose the shadows and you'll see. Lose the shadows and be free.
Wow. Okay. This one. This cosplay. What the fuck? This armor looks absolutely stunning. What the fuck? The weapon as well. This is so beautiful. Wow.
There's no past, no tomorrow. You're lost in reflections. Dance with the starlight. You gotta be there. You gotta be. I want it closer. Bring me light like sunrise. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. I was trying to invade, but there were no walls to barricade. There's no need to fight. No. I was driving deep within, but there were no race I had to win. Now that I found the light. Oh yeah.
It's Charizard. Look at her. She's a warrior, Charizard warrior. Yeah, no, for sure. This is so awesome.
There's a moment when you know that every teardrop has to go. They be piling up inside.
Damn.
Inside the cyclone, could this moment be meant to be?
Damn.
Lose the shadows and you'll see. Lose the shadows and be free.
Oh, also Pokemon Warrior. Chainsaw Man. I really find so basically like it's like Pokemon like themed kind of like warriors. Like I really like this. This is so imagined. Maybe it's in the anime. I don't know. Damn.
I was trying to invade, but there were no walls to barricade. There's no need to fight. No. I was driving deep within, but there were no race I had to win. Now that I found the light. Oh yeah. There's a moment when you know that every teardrop has to go. They be piling
Wow. Wow, this is a cool one as well. I don't know where it's from. Anime Schoolgirl. Kind of dark. Wow. God damn. Headpieces with lighting, it's so complicated to do. Thank you so much, Mamaro, for the highlight cosplay. I really like this. This was really awesome. I love cosplay. If like people that do cosplays, they are awesome people. So yeah, like this was really awesome. Like. Okay, Bullet for My Valentine, Wikipedia, fact or fiction. Actually, I love Bullet for My Valentine. Actually, I don't know what, I don't know much about them. Fact or fiction. Actually, I'm curious. I just know that, like, is there demons at doing art? They're really that good. But like, facts or fiction. Okay, I'm curious. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like to Loudwire. All right.
Hey everyone, Graham from Loudwire here at Rockin' the Range, and I am with Mr. Matt Tuck of Bullet for My Valentine. Thank you so much for joining me, man.
No worries, my friend,
Appreciate
no worries.
Your time. So this is Wikipedia Fact or Fiction. I went on your Wikipedia pages today.
Okay.
Pulled out some stuff that may or may not be true. You can say yes or no, fact or fiction, and elaborate if you so choose.
All right, sounds good.
So, first of all, Matthew Tuck, born in Bridgend, South Wales.
True.
Okay, they do get that wrong sometimes.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
There you go. If you could answer this about Padge, perhaps. It said he was about 17 when he got his first guitar. He couldn't even tune the guitar for about a month, and the first song he learned was Polly by Nirvana.
If you don't know Polly by Nirvana, like, this man has good taste. Like, really, really awesome. Awesome. Polly from Nirvana is such a fun song to play.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
That's all 100% true.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think, well, the age is a little bit inaccurate, but the rest
Not
of
17?
it is, no,
Earlier?
he's around 15.
15. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
remember.
there's some fiction.
Yeah,
so that's
there's
why
some
we
fiction,
do it.
but yeah.
All right. So when did you get your first guitar?
I got my first guitar when I was 14.
14.
Bought it myself, yeah.
Oh wow. Do you remember the first song you learned on it?
I think the first song that I could play front to back was probably like Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That's like the definitive for
Yeah,
everybody,
man, it's good.
right?
You know, those Nirvana tracks, they're great for, simplicity.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
100%. All right. Bullet for My Valentine formed while studying music at Bridgend College, and you started by playing Nirvana and Metallica cover songs.
Yeah, that's true, man.
That's very true.
Yeah,
So,
that's what we did.
Awesome.
would you guys do gigs playing Nirvana and Metallica, or was that just kind of a warm-up for you guys?
No, we did like kind of local pub gigs, just like a local band entertainment on a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Just go and play like the classic cover songs that we know people wanted to hear,
Yeah.
Just
Did
get
you
an
ever?
experience of just playing live in front of a crowd,
Yeah. Any big crowds ever, or like a
hell no.
decent pub crowd at least? Or?
No, maybe like 20, 30 people tops
20?
every time,
All right. Well,
And they were mainly hammered drunk, so
well, if they're drunk enough, sometimes that can make for a good crowd.
yeah, it was fun. We enjoyed it.
Awesome. It says that your songwriting is personally highly influenced by Bruce Springsteen, Bob Seger, and Bob Dylan.
My songwriting isn't influenced by those guys, but I am a
Okay.
big fan of those guys and
Oh.
admire how they write songs and the art of songwriting,
Okay, so
Oh.
influence would be the incorrect.
Influence
This is
the wrong
interesting.
word, but I'm a massive fan of those guys.
I'm a
yeah.
huge Bob Dylan.
Yeah, because technically, like, really far from the style of Bullet from a Valentine.
Myself.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, so we'll say that's fiction. It said that the name change from Jeff Killed John to Bullet for My Valentine was because of financial difficulties.
Complete fiction.
Yeah, that didn't sound
I
right
don't
to
even know
me.
what that
like
means.
Financial difficulties for like a small band
Yeah,
at the time,
for just a covers
why,
band that wasn't
why would
signed.
that make you change your name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's not true, guys.
So it was the name changed just because of your stylistic shift
yeah,
at the time.
I mean, the Jeff Gill John thing was something we came up with when we were like 15 years old because of a stupid incident at school.
Did a guy named Jeff fight a guy named John?
Kind of. It's a little bit X-rated, so I better
Oh,
not say it on
Jesus.
here.
Oh.
But
Well,
yeah,
this
we
is a kid's show, so don't.
Exactly.
June 2007, you suffered from laryngitis and had an emergency tonsillectomy, and because of this, Bullet for My Valentine were forced to cancel shows supporting Metallica.
True.
Oh,
Have you supported them since?
Not as far as being on tour with them, but we've done many festivals and stuff.
Oh
yeah.
my God! So that was
managed
supposed
to do some shows with them prior to that, though.
so that must have been a heartbreaker, right? Yeah.
That was a big one that bummed me out. Yeah, yeah, that wasn't
No
good. That wasn't
wonder.
good. And it was at Wembley Stadium as well in London. So 90,000 people in London support Metallica and couldn't do it. So unfortunately, it's true.
Okay, so we need Metallica. You need to take Bullet on at least a few
Come on,
shows,
man.
please.
Do it.
yeah, come on.
This man's been through enough.
It's true.
He's worthy.
Scream and
Metallica.
Fire. The lyrics "over the top" several times is a reference to World War I trench warfare.
Basically, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the whole song is about kind of warfare, and it's a bit more of a theatrical song that I kind of got my head into.
Yeah. So how did you get into that? Were you watching a lot of History Channel or reading a lot of historical texts?
Not really. I just wanted to kind of, like I said, take on a bit more of a fictional role as a songwriter. The Poison was very kind of personal and just weird lyrically, and this one I just kind of wanted to kind of just experiment more with lyrical content. It's kind of, it was our second record, and I was still kind of what I feel as now looking back very early to songwriting, really. You know what I mean? So I think it was just more kind of having fun with the song and writing about a topic we felt was fitting to the kind of thrashy soundtracks we were writing.
It says on Fever, Bullet for My Valentine rewrote the lyrics and melodies for many of the songs up to 5 times.
I say 5 is an exaggeration. I think 3 is more accurate.
Okay, so
But there was multiple versions and writing sessions on multiple songs. Yeah.
so was this kind of while you were recording or during the writing process that you just kept on?
Mainly the recording process,
Okay.
because until you start putting it down for real with a producer, things can evolve and take shape. And that was the first time we'd worked with a guy called Don Gilmore,
Okay.
and he was a bit of a ball breaker when it came to lyrics and stuff, which I'd never had before. So he was just kind of pushing me to rewrite until we both thought it was up to the standard it needed to be.
So how did that kind of pressure shape the way that the record came out in the studio? Because that's a tough thumb to be put under. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it was nice at the time. We didn't like it, because we were butting heads and getting into fights, and
Yeah.
I'd had all the success previously with Bullet without anyone's help.
Yeah.
So I was Mr. Know-it-all, obviously, But I learned a lot from that guy, and the butting of the heads and the rewriting of stuff ultimately made me a better songwriter, made the album stronger, and it was something that I look on very fondly now.
It says that
That's
you recorded
awesome.
most of the guitar
I really love the vibe of the singer.
and bass parts on Temper Temper.
I record all the guitar parts and all the bass parts for every album.
Every album?
Every
I don't
album.
think it says that on Wikipedia. So
Well, I don't get the credit.
Damn,
You don't
what a
get the
fucking
credit.
machine, dude.
So why record the bass parts yourself?
Because of the way I write the guitar parts, to get someone else to play the bass part is just kind of unnecessary. And
Okay.
it's tighter if the same right hand is playing the same rhythms. It
Sure.
just comes down to a speed and efficiency in the studio kind of thing, you know?
Last one for you. It says Bullet for My Valentine almost recorded an album with Pantera producer Terry Date.
I wouldn't say we almost recorded an album with him, but when we were looking for producers to do certain records, we had meetings with Terry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because he was in the go-to guy list that we wanted to work with, you know.
Of course, as he
So
would
yeah,
be with
so we
pretty
met
much
him
anyone.
a couple of times. Great guy. For whatever reason, we decided not to do it in the end. But you know, maybe someday in the future. Yeah, who knows? You know, depends where our heads at recording and where we want to take the band musically. You know.
Thank you so much, man, for giving
Cool,
me
man.
your time. Matt, Bullet for My Valentine, everybody.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I love the vibe of I didn't watch any interview of for My Valentine. Love the vibe of the guy of Matt Efi. No, yeah, no, Matt Tux. Yeah, right. If you never listen to Bullet for My Valentine, give it a go. Like, just maybe you'll like it. You know. All right. I'll just check out real quick. Okay. All right. This was fun. Small stream. This was fun. Got to learn a couple stuff that like are really awesome. I'll see you another time, and as always, be toxic.